let's take our listeners through what Florida State's going to do at safety, because I know you wrote about it on Warchant.com.
Man, if I knew the answer to that, they are going to have to find at least one or maybe two players. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. That position was not really a position of strength in terms of depth. You know, it's one of the few positions on defense that they don't have a lot of depth. And then two of your veteran kind of backups both went in the portal, Duke Cooper and Travis Jay. And I don't know that either one was a huge shock for Florida State. I think Travis Jay was probably a surprise. I don't think if the coaches are being honest with themselves, I doubt they were too surprised about Duke Cooper. I mean, all of us who watched him practice and then talked to him in the spring, you could tell he was trying to be a good soldier, making the move from corner to safety, but
Right.
It's not what he wanted to do. And so it's not a shock that he would go on and move. And then, with Travis Jay, I don't know that they expect him to go in the portal, but I also don't know how much you could really count on Travis Jay. I mean, he's been here for over 4 years and he's been eligible for 2 seasons and he wasn't healthy in the spring. So I think that they were already in the process of getting at least one, maybe 2 guys in the portal, and they may have to move somebody else from corner to safety as well. So I think that's going to be a work in progress. But it's leapfrogged anything else into the position of biggest need.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned that they would go after a guy like Jalen Key. Is he at Ole Miss now? Is that what he's done?
No, he's yes, he's on official visit to Ole Miss right now. He's officially visiting Florida State this weekend.
Okay.
He released the top 6. Florida State should have the inside track. He went to high school here, played for Corey Fuller at 2 different schools. He played for Corey at Gadsden County, and he also played for Corey at Godby.
Yeah.
So the connection there is great. Now, other schools might be more attractive because Florida State ostensibly has 2 starting safeties in Shaheem Brown and Akeem Dent. That doesn't mean he couldn't beat them out, but another depth chart might look more appealing.
Any other names that if we enter into the portal ourselves and research as we desperately look for that needed depth at safety that might emerge as having either ties to the coaching staff or the area?
There's 1 or 2 kids from Florida that are at other schools, and I don't have the names off the top of my head.
Sure.
When you go to On3 and you look at the portal players by position, there are some safeties that you could see them looking at. I don't think it's a wealth of candidates really right now. I think the guys that enter the portal in the spring, at the end of spring practice, in a lot of cases are guys that lost starting jobs or found out they're not going to be starting. So there's not a ton of attractive. It's not like in December where you're getting a lot more big time players. So I think it's going to be more likely that, a combination of maybe moving a player to that position, and then also there may be grad transfers that come available during the summer who might be more attractive than maybe what's out there. But I think they've got a great chance at Jalen Key. If they get Jalen Key, and if, say, an Azaria Thomas or somebody like that is interested in the move to safety, you might be okay with that, even though I think you might need to get another one too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I was just about to segue to Azaria Thomas, who has the requisite length and size and athleticism. What is he, 6'2", 6'3", something like that? Yeah, he could do that, you feel like he could. I don't know how much he would welcome that move. I have no way of knowing that, I don't suppose. Maybe we can do an interview here soon with Adam Fuller, but I know they wanted to move him inside, and I don't know, how comfortable they would be also starting a player who we were all very impressed with in Quindarius Jones also.
Yeah, and those guys definitely have the measurables. I don't know. There's the idea of Ajarian Jones or Kevin Noles or those guys. But you're talking about guys that are 6 foot at best, maybe under 6 foot. That's a tall ask, I think, for a safety, especially if they got to cover linebackers. And so I'd be more inclined, cover tight ends. I'd be more inclined to get one of those longer guys. But even then, it's going to be somebody learning a new position. I would like to think that Azaria Thomas would be open to it. I don't really get the players that are objecting to it. Like Duke Cooper, he didn't want to move there, but he wasn't going to start at corner. And there's a chance he probably wasn't going to play a lot. They're really deep at corner. So you'd like to, think guys would just want to get on the field. But everybody's got to make their own decisions. The good thing for Florida State is, Azaria, this portal window is closed. So ostensibly everybody you've got now will stay. The only possibilities are, guys that have graduated could look to jump in as grad transfers.
Were you surprised by any of the 7 that took it on down the road, as I say? I don't know that there was anybody that was shocking that entered their name into the portal, but there may have been some mild surprises. I'm not sure everybody expected Mycah Pittman to do it.
Right. Yeah, no, Mycah Pittman's one that's kind of a head scratcher, just because I don't know that he's a huge commodity on the portal coming off of a hip surgery.
Yeah.
And I think being in the system, I think it might have made more sense for him to stay here. But he's also a guy that with all of his social media platforms and all that, he may think that he needs to be at a higher level. One of the things about him was, when he complained about Oregon being a run-first offense and then he transferred to Florida State, it's like, well, these guys are going to run the ball
a ton.
And so that was kind of curious. I don't know if he's got the best, plans mapped out for himself. Hopefully it works out for him. And then the other one to me, it probably won't have a huge impact, but it's Travis Jay, just because, Mike Norvell has gone to bat for that kid. They've kept him on this, not just him, and going back to, Taggart's staff. I mean, they've kept him in this program for over 4 years, including 2 years where he wasn't eligible. And basically you're just investing at that point in a kid because you want to see the best for him. And so now for him to jump in the portal, and I don't get the impression this was a situation where he was encouraged to leave or they were on board with him leaving. I think he just decided to leave. I don't know. That just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, because I do think Florida State has gone. They've done so much for him, hoping at one point there would be a return on that investment. But he decided to go in the portal. So we'll see how it works out for him. But I think he's a guy that it would have worked out better possibly for him here, just because, he's already been here so long. He's been in the system. He's practiced. He knows Adam Fuller. He knows the system. I think it would have been better for him to stay here. But, again, everybody's got to make their own decision.
My heart sunk when I saw the news. I've been championing that guy from the get-go, just hoping that somehow, some way they get something out of that athleticism.
Hey, how many times have we been burned on the Warchant Top 40 by Travis Jay? I mean,
never again.
He's got to be the all-time leader.
Hey, so I got to tell you right now, just for fun, I want you to know I'm going to put his name on my top 40 for this year. I'm going to do it for tradition's sake. It's going to happen. I'm going to have him, and Gene's going to go, what the hell, Jeff? You got Travis Jay at 15. You're damn right. It's his year. It's going to happen.